Hello everyone, welcome back to a new Flesh and Blood video. Today we're going to be talking about the strategy I use to improve for tournaments. So this is just not specific to tournaments, you can do this to improve in Flesh and Blood anytime, and I think this is personally one of the best ways to fix your mistakes and hone your play. And if you do want to compete at the highest level, I think this is probably a must. So let's get right into it, shall we? So what we're going to be doing here today is watching back one of our games and analysing our plays turn by turn, make sure we got it right, so we can basically, the plan is to, if we see good play patterns, we reinforce it, and if it's a bad play pattern, we try and remove it. It's heavily inspired by the daily Flesh and Blood gameplay from Lupine Fiasco. I really like his videos. I watched almost every one, and I would love to implement it on my own channel. So this is going to be the first episode of this. Today we're playing New Alluring Desire, which is my current deck of choice, and let's get right into it. So we are playing against a post-ban -IO. If we can just get this working. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're playing against a post-ban -IO. This is meaning that the -IO does not have high octane, which is obviously one of Dash's power cards. And I'm assuming this person was testing on Talishar to see if they could still play -IO. And what I did, I won't spoil it, but we'll see how it goes for them. The sideboard is just going to be bringing the weakest link to take out items, and then we're also bringing in the one that lets us look at the top 4 cards of the deck, bring one into the chain link, and this is because it can take out power cards. So we start with an all blue hand, which I quite like, and I think what I did was I went double dagger, and this is because I like to take out cards on inefficient blocks, see if we can leak damage, or just entirely take their entire hand, which is what daggers do turn 1 when we have multiple attacks. Also looking to see if we can play the Persuasive Prognosis, maybe gain some life off of it, and banish top card of their deck. You can see they're scared of being fatigued, so they've brought in 73 cards, and I've boarded 62. However, my game plan is still to try and fatigue, and that's how I win against -IO, because obviously that's how their deck works. I can banish lots of cards as well as them banishing them themselves. I can play cards from their banish. Fatigue is generally a good game plan into them. Alright, so we have ended up playing our entire hand. We're choosing to go off the Arsenal because I saw the Fast and Furious in their hand, and I wanted to take that away from them as I know it's a strong card, and allows them to have consistency, so I banish that, and I also gain a life. This hand is not so good, and immediately I think, oh, what if they have a Boom Grenade? And they played the Boom Grenade. So I'm not too pleased to see that, because basically the way they stop getting fatigued is by having hands that hit Boom Grenades. They have to hit all their Boom Grenades. That's how it works. And with this hand, I can't reasonably block out anything, essentially. So I know I'm going to have to take this Boom Grenade. Luckily, because they played the Boom Grenade from hand, I know that they've only got 2 cards. And so I'm less scared of taking a lot of damage, but it is sad that I do have to let the Boom Grenade hit, and I choose to take this. So thinking about this play, I still think this is the right play. And maybe it's not. Maybe I block with Surgical. But then I don't really have a turn, and especially into a Throttle next, I'm just left with 2 Transcend cards if I did that. And what am I doing with 2 Transcend cards? Absolutely nothing is what I'm doing. So the best I can do is dagger and take a card from hand with Mask of Recurring Nightmares. So I believe I made the right play there. Then I block with the Fate Foreseen. I top the Hiss, as I know I would like it now, as I probably won't see my pitch deck considering how quickly Dash likes to play these games, and even with me reaching pitch deck, I don't usually even with me reaching fatigue, I don't usually see pitch deck. So that's their turn. First turn, it's very underwhelming. However, they do get 7 damage through, which I'm not too pleased about, but I am sending a Surgical back where I'm going to buff it to 5, and I'm going to take a card from their hand with Mask of Recurring Nightmares. So altogether, that sort of 2-turn cycle, I think I played it right, and then here, I seem to remember them playing it wrong here. Well, not particularly wrong, because they're playing -IO, they have to hold cards in their hand. But I think what they choose to do is they choose to block for 4. A perfect block, but I just happen to have this +1 in hand. So it's even better than having a Venomous Bite or a Hiss here, because I'm taking 2 cards because of the mask as well. So I'm hitting with Surgical, banish top card from the deck, banish a card from their hand, and banish another card from the hand with Mask of Recurring Nightmares. So that sort of their turn, my turn. I like my turn over their turn every time here. As well as some, yeah, it's just a strong turn cycle for me. So we are going to skip through a little bit because this guy does take a long time to think a lot of the times. So we'll skip 30 seconds in. See, he's still on this decision. Skipping 30 seconds in. He does banish a card from my hand. It's a Sprocket Rocket. Then I hit and I banish that last card from his hand, which was an Underloop, I think, or that might have been banished at the top. Either way, I also got a Spark of Genius, which is one of his power cards, which is always great to see banishing that. And he's now on just a pass back turn. Oh, rather, he has a card in his hand. Oh, right, because he had Backup Protocol and 2 floating. Yep. So he swings for T-Bone. This, I'm not really scared of. I've got a great hand here. An amazing hand. I'll have Tunic up. And I'll have... so I'll be getting a Venomous Bite or a Hiss. And I get Swing with Persuasive with just a Nick. It's a great hand. Very strong. And all I have to do is block 1 here. He's got none floating, so I'm not afraid of a... Boom Grenade off the top, and he does banish Teklo Pounder, which is important to think because I can play that later, and it's also good to see one of those gone. However, it does get a card in his banish for his pull the cards out of banish zone, so that it's a lot to think about with that Teklo Pounder. He does choose to boost it away. I don't know if that's the correct decision. I guess he did see it on the top of his deck, so he decided he didn't want to draw a Teklo Pounder, which I guess is fair because he's got to block out, and maybe should have sided Teklo Pounder out. However, I think the problem here that mistake he made is he was so scared of fatigue, he brought in all his cards, and Teklo Pounder's not a great card against me, because you're probably not going to get it, and it also adds more no blocks into your deck, and when you need to block me out, that's not very strong, obviously. So here he's blocking 3 with the Pulse Wave Harpoon, blocks another one with Pulse Wave Harpoon. However, that's not what happens. Oh, I actually skipped too far. So he blocks 6, and then I come in for 9. Banish a lot of cards, and gain some... Did I gain some life, I think? I gained 1 life, and took a card from his hand. No, I gained 4 life there, sorry. Gained 4 life, back up to 36, took a card from his hand. So altogether, that was great for me. Maximum Velocity was also banished. It went really well for me. I just made the right play there. I had full grip. I have full grip right now. So with full grip, I'm able to make insane plays like that, where I just take his entire hand, and then his turn is play Cerebellum Processor, Teklo Core, which is good for him because it means he's able to try and fight for grip, like some grip of the game back, because playing against a 5-card hand on me is not the strongest. So this hand, I was really looking to play a double Surgical. However, I was just missing that one last blue. Pardon me. So I wasn't able to play the double Surgical. If I had Findel Spring Tuning up, I could have. Unfortunately, didn't. So here, just going for a double dagger into a Surgical play, and looking to maybe play the Hiss on it. I didn't really want a Siren's Call here. I don't know why I didn't play for a Siren's Call. Sorry. I don't know why I didn't play for a Siren's Call instead, because I think I double dagger here into a Surgical, and that's possibly not the correct option. And I think maybe now I like a Surgical with a Siren's Call more, because if he's going to block out the Surgical anyway, because he has to, and then I take an extra card possibly, it does, the drawback to that, it does intellect penalty myself, and if he doesn't have a blue card in hand, I've just done the objectively worst play. So this is the more consistent line, in my opinion. I think it is the more consistent line, where I'm basically guaranteeing damage over the top, because I've hit a Spider's Bite, and he's probably not going to block with his entire hand, which is what would be required to block this out. However, he does have Adaptive Plating, and a Cerebellum Processor that won't get anything. So he's got guaranteed 3 block there, and you can just put another card in front. So at the end, I think this is the right play again. However, I do want to explore those different lines where I try Siren's Call, because Siren's Call would be more effective, provided the fact that he had a blue in his hand, I think. As it does let me to pick a card out of his hand. However, it forces it to be a blue. It's a complicated decision, and I think I made the correct decision in this case. But yeah, I think there were definitely different ways to think about this play, and this is the one I made, and obviously pays out. He's down to a 2-card hand now, and I get to choose what I take, and I get to Arsenal a Slither. So with full grip and a Slither and Arsenal, I get a guaranteed go again. And here is where I think I made a mistake. So I actually had my brother sitting behind me when I played this game, and I was talking to him, do I take Zip Hit or Pulse Wave? And he's like, take Teklo Core, obviously. But I didn't like taking Teklo Core, as then he still swings with 2 attacks because he's already got a Teklo Core on field. So he's actually able to swing back for 7, which I just don't like that very much, you know? Why would I let him swing back for 7? So instead I take Pulse with Harpoon, which is the strongest card in his hand, and then I let him play a attack for 3 into a Tekla Core. And I draw this hand. I was very confused how to play this hand. There's 2 lines with this hand. I'm just taking this 3 here because there's no need to block it. But there's 2 lines that I was thinking about here. I was thinking about pitch Bonds of Agony for double looking for a scrap, then Bonds of Agony, which I can technically fully buff with an Arousing Wave and a Slytherin Arsenal. However, my brother was like, no, don't do that. You've got a Slytherin Arsenal, you can utilize it by attacking with this looking for scrap, sending a Bonds, which was going to force blocks from his hands, then just give it go again, and swing with another looking for a scrap, which is going to be 5, and by that point, he's already blocked cards, so he's down to a couple cards in hand, and you deal 5 damage, or he blocks with his whole hand, and then he's wasted a Tekla Core. I just get the turn right back. So, in the end, after thinking about it for quite a bit, I'll skip in, because I think I do think it for quite a bit. So, here's the looking for a scrap, which I swing for 5. And I do choose to go for the play my brother suggested, which is a Bonds of Agony, because if he doesn't block, I take cards from his hand, and then I swing for another looking for a scrap anyway. And I do think this was the right decision, because he just doesn't just... This way, I'm guaranteeing cards out of his hand, and I think in the end, though, it's definitely either cool would be playable, I think. If I chose to go double looking for scrap, I think it would have ended up with the same outcome, which is these 2 cards. Actually, that's not entirely true. I don't think it would have. Actually, as I'm watching this back, I'm realizing now that by doing this, I've left a card in my hand which threatens a Juster Nick and the Slither. So this was the right play. And I'm just picking up on it now. This was great because I've left a card in hand to say it could be anything. And this has left him with more questions. So that is where we're reinforcing good play patterns. So I'll remember that for next time. And this is, I'm just going to say it now while we're watching him think about his blocks for looking for scrap. This is why I think this is very important. Because at the time, I didn't really think about that much. My brother was like, oh, just give him more blocks. And I didn't think he fully thought about it. Actually turned out to work really, really well. And here's a bit of a turning point in the game where I've drawn an all-red hand, and so I know I can't give the same level of disruption I've been giving every turn, which is damage go-agains, strip multiple cards from hand. I know I can't do that here, and so I block with the Sink Blow, looking to just try and filter this hand as much as possible, and I draw Leave No Witnesses. This is much better. I've now got Leave No Witnesses, Venomous Bite, and here, I remember this, is where I make a large mistake. So, he plays a Heist, and I'm like, this is just 5 damage, there is no boost, but I'm scared of a Teklo Pounder, and I think, oh, if this hits, it's a Teklo Pounder, and I'm actually worried now. Now realizing Teklo Pounder is a 2 cost. He can't grab it with Heist, so it would have been better to send 7 damage back and really put the pressure on rather than just a 4. So that's a good moment to learn, and I definitely learned from it. Possibly even 8 damage if I wanted to pop a Rousing Wave, but yes, this is fixing bad plays, and I realize it now when I look back. It's a 2 cost. So, yeah, last time we reinforced good play patterns, and here we're realizing we've made a mistake, and hopefully we won't make the mistake again into a Heist where it actually requires a 2 cost. So just reading the card explains the card, and I end up, what would have put him down to 12 puts him down to 15. However, I suppose I do save life, but now I don't have full grip. He's got a full 4-card hand plus a 2 from the Tekla Core, and here is where I worry. I look at my hand, and I'm like, this could almost be strong. And I think about it, and it's like, this hand is almost good. I've got a Tunic for looking for a scrap, and I've got a Double Trouble pitching the Bonds to get Sacred Art, and I can really banish some cards off the top of his deck. And with my Life Lead, I'm thinking, I'm very in between game plans where I'm almost verging off of my just fatigue him game plan, and I'm very pushing towards a can we kill him game plan with him at 15 life. But here I choose not to block. I leave myself open for the inevitable play of a Boom Grenade. And so I'm punished, and now my life drops to 27, which is still not in risky range, you know. I've still got a 12 life lead, and that's very comfortable life lead. He's still got 3 cards in hand, and he's got an extra action point, except he actually chooses not to crank it. I wonder what his decision there, and I think he's actually scared of me. There's 2 options here. What the problem is So initially, I think he doesn't want to boost the cards away, but he immediately goes and activates Tekla Heart, so he doesn't care about boosting the cards away. So he's actually scared of getting fatigued. That's why he doesn't crank. However, I don't know if that's the entirely right decision, because he plays a Spark of Genius, which now he has to crank that Boom Grenade. But here I'm worried. Here I'm thinking, oh, I'm not actually going to get to do this turn, am I? Like, my turn is slipping away here. And I make the decision to say no blocks to this Boom Grenade and attack for 4. I take 8 damage. I go to 19. And with still 2 cards in hand and 2 resources floating, I've given up my full... I haven't entirely given up my full grip because I'm still holding cards in hand. And I'm sending a full card hand back. But I go to 13 here. Like, it's risky. And then he ends with an Arsenal. So, does he end with an Arsenal? I think he does. Even though he's got an action point. I actually can't remember. But I'm at 13. I've lower life than him. I started that turn, what was it, 33? And now I'm at 13. I took 20 damage that turn. Now the game is far, far closer. And I don't know if that's the right decision. Maybe I should have blocked. But then what would I have actually sent back? Just looking for a scrap 5, Arsenaled it. So it's a hard decision point. I don't even know if I can fully analyze this. I think maybe I need some more help. Guys, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think I should have done there? Do you think I should have blocked maybe Arsenal looking for scrap, Arsenal to Sacred Art? Probably wouldn't have been Arsenal to Sacred Art. And let him have another 5 card hand? Or do I do this play, get him down to 10, and then swing a relevant on hit that's going to banish the top 2 cards of his deck and almost take away another turn from him in terms of fatigue, as he's getting low in deck size. Furthermore, I get to Sacred Art and Mask of Recurring Nightmares to take an extra card out of his hand. So yeah, you guys let me know. What do you think was the right decision? Do you think I made the right decision by not blocking and taking 20 damage? Or, rather, do you think I should have blocked, played a bit of a slow game plan, and let him have full grip with a 5 card hand? Do let me know, because I would love some feedback, as I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this video are better than me. But what I'm trying to do here is encourage you guys to, you know, put the time in, practice, and review your games, because this, I think, is the best way to improve. And I think Lupine Fiasco shows that. He maybe, when he started his channel, he definitely wasn't the best player, but after over 100 episodes of Daily Fab gameplay, he's a really good player, and he's winning events. So, yeah, I look up to him a lot, and I hope he watches this video. But, yeah, while I'm talking right now, and he's thinking on his blocks on this decision, I'd love if you guys could subscribe. I've been growing so fast recently, and I just can't thank you guys enough. Honestly, I was very hesitant about starting this channel because it's a lot of work to put into these videos every day, especially with school and everything. So, and I did it, and it's going really well. I've been growing really fast. I have noticed that 90% of you guys watching these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you could subscribe, it would mean a lot to me, and I could really rocket towards getting the 100 subscriber milestone that I'm already halfway to. Thank you so much for 50 subscribers. And also, don't forget to like this video, as I'd love to keep up this series going and reviewing games every day if I can. And I am on the Runaway Discord, where rated CC is a thing, and I'm thinking about maybe trying to make a push for the top of the ladder, and I'd love to stream that if you guys are interested. So do let me know down below, and if you've made it this far, yeah, let me know what hero you're playing at the moment. Let me know your favorite hero, and if I should try them out for the Road to National season next year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's get right back into this. So he's chosen his blocks. He's blocking 5, and I'm really contemplating my decision. I say thinking, please bear with me, because I really don't know whether I should use News ability and actually play a Teklo core and try go for that. But because of my low life, I decide I need to actually go for Disruption, and I choose to take another card out of his hand, because I'm just super hesitant on what the right play here is. Because at the end of the day, if I don't take cards from his hand, I'm looking at a big hand, and I'm probably not even going to get to use those 2 resources other than for something like a dagger. I play a Slither as to not intellect penalty myself, and then I put a Fan Strike in my arsenal. The reason I choose to do this is because I realize if I need to block out a lot, then I'm not going to be able to play 2 attacks where I have attack go again. So instead, I look at this hand. This is a very strong hand. There's a few different plays here. There's Leave No Witnesses, and then Give It Go Again, and then a blue attack with a Just a Nick. There's also Fang Strike to get over blocks. Altogether, it's quite a good hand. In the end, I think I make the wrong decision here. So I block with a Leave No Witnesses and a Bonds. Okay, so I block this one out. as I am worried about a boom grenade off the top, as that would put me extremely low. So I block 2 cards, and I've got an Art of Desire Mound with a Just Nick. So that's a very open play. Like it's very obvious. Sorry, that's my dog barking. It's a very obvious play. If I'm doing that with none floating, but I've got that Fang Strike in Arsenal to get over that 6 block. Sorry about my dog in the background. Gotta defend the house, clearly. Anyway, he sends an Outpace, chooses not to Arsenal, so I had made the right decision by not keeping the Leave No Witnesses around, and then I take this 4. Although an 8 would put me to 5 if he plays a red boom grenade off the top, which is a possibility here with the 1 floating, I choose to take it, as I don't really have a great other option other than giving a card and Tunic, and then I've just got Art of Desire in mind for essentially 2 with the Fang Strike. So I don't like that play, choose not to go for it. I keep the Just Nick around, as I know it could be a very punishing play here. And yeah, so Just Nick is kept around. I'm going to swing back for 7 essentially, and I took 4. So yeah, obviously that works. We've got added disruption where I gain life and draw cards possibly, and we've got, it says added life disruption. I only took 4 to send back 7. The math is good for me here. He chooses to say no blocks. I send a Just Nick. Obviously, this is going to put him to 3 now. I choose to play the Fang Strike on top of this to extra punish him. Now I'm looking at a 5-card hand. I'm scared of what this 5-card hand does, except he's only got 13 cards left in deck, and a lot of these are going to blue. Then, even better, off the draw, I get a Leave No Witnesses, which I can Arsenal, and essentially block out with my entire hand and send a Leave No Witnesses. Here's the problem. The file got corrupted. So, you don't get to find out, except I started recording again, and we can just jump over here and see that recording right here. So, what I choose to do is I blocked with 1 card, actually. Wait, is that what's happening? Yeah, I blocked with 1 card. I go to 3, and then I swing back with Bonds, go again. And then Bonds, go again. Persuasive Prognosis into go again, and then I play my Arsenal. What was in my Arsenal again? Can't actually remember. Yes, I can. It's a Leave No Witnesses. So I do this, and then I swing back with Leave No Witnesses, and I leave the Command and Conquer up to pitch to a Rousing Wave to get over the blocks if I need to, in case it's two blocks. Instead of being 2 blocks, it is 2 Boom Grenades, and I win the game. So, yeah, it was quite an easy game, if I must say. I think I was able to minimize the amount of mistakes I made, purely because I had full grip a lot of the time, so I was able to just play my cards out. And although there were maybe minor lines that I could have changed, I didn't need to because I was so far ahead. I do want to hear you guys' input on that turn where I took a lot of that damage, and where I should have blocked. But thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'm really pushing towards that goal of 100 subscribers, and then the next goal, and then the next goal. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.